A very good afternoon, dear students. I hope you all are safe at your place. I, Professor Sonal Agrawal, welcome you all on the digital platform of Agrawal Vidya Vihar English Medium College. This is the lecture for the subject Banking, Insurance and Financial Services. What we did in the last lecture, I just want to brief out in short that in the last lecture we have completed the topic that is the banker-customer general relationship. Here, now in the today's lecture, what we are going to do, in the today's lecture we are going to start with a topic that is the banker-customer special relationship. I hope it is clear to you. In the last lecture we have completed general relationship between the banker and customer, and now onwards we are going to discuss the special relationship between the banker and customer. So, as you know that in the last lecture, general relationship, so many topics are there, subtopics are there in that topic. So now in the special relationship also so many subtopics are there. So now today we are going to start with the one topic that is the lien. Clear? Lien. Clear? The pronunciation is lion, and I think this is a new word for you. So it is a type of relationship between the banker and customer, and what is mean by lion, and where it is going to be used. These all things we are going to discuss in the today's lecture. Starting with the meaning of the banker's lion. So question arises that what do you mean by lion, or what do you mean by banker's lion? So the lion is a right to retain the property in its position till its banker's views are cleared by the borrower. So here the explanation, or you can say the definition, is given according to the banker's point of view. But in general, what do you mean by lion? So lion is the right of creditor to retain any property which is registered with the name of the borrower until the that amount will not be repaid by the borrower. So suppose if a customer has taken a loan of 10 lakh rupees from person Mr. B, in case of bad debt, or in case the person is not wants to pay or not able to pay the amount, in that case the Mr. B as a creditor is having the right to retain the possession of any property or any goods which is registered on the name of that particular customer till the repayment of loan amount or till the repayment of debt amount. So if you are a creditor and your debtor is not ready to pay the amount, so as a creditor, you are having the right to get the possession of any property which is registered with the name of the customer or your debtor. But here we focused that you are not able to sell the property as a creditor. What the rule says that you as a creditor can take the possession of that property only. Your right is limited with the possession of property. You cannot sell the property in the market to recover your due amount or to recover your loan amount. Just this is the right to get the possession and to keep the possession till your debtor is not able or not ready to pay the loan amount. So this is all about the meaning of lien. The question arises, what is mean by banker's lien? As our topic is the banker's lion. So what do you mean by banker's lion? So if the creditor is a banker, as I said, the rule says that as a creditor you can retain the possession of property only, you cannot sell the property. But if the creditor is a banker, you have taken a loan from the banker, in that case, the banker is having the right to sell the property also. So that's why the banker's lion is something different than the general meaning of lion. I hope it is clear. Again I am repeating, the lion is the right of a creditor to retain the possession of the property which is registered under the name of the customer till the repayment of the due amount. Here, the person or the creditor is having the right to maintain the possession or to keep the possession of the property only. The person cannot sell the property. Your creditor cannot sell the property. But if the creditor is a banker, in that situation, the banker is also having the right to sell the property. The question arises that what are the types of the lion? So the lion is generally bifurcated into the two types, that is the particular lion and general lion. So question arises, what do you mean by particular lion and what do you mean by general lion? And which type of lion is related with the banker's lion? So starting with the particular lion, that particular lion gives the right to retain only those specific properties or goods in respect of which the charges or the dues have arisen. Again, I am repeating, the particular lion gives the right to retain only those specific securities or the properties or the goods in respect of which the charges or dues and the charges have arisen. Means, suppose you as a creditor can take the possession of only those goods on which you have exercised your labor time, your money or your skills. Again I am repeating, you are having the authority to retain the possession of those properties only on which you have exercised labor, time, money or skills. For example, suppose a garage owner repairs a car. With the help of of course, the laborers repaired the car. Now the owner of the car is not ready to pay the repairing charges. The repairing charges are suppose 5,000 rupees. Now as the car owner is not ready to pay the repairing charges, the garage owner is having the right to keep the possession of that car until the charges will not be paid by the owner. But focus here that the garage owner can retain the possession of that car only, not any other property which is registered with the name of the customer. Here, the garage owner can take the possession of any particular property, not any property. Only a particular property on which he has exercised his time or the labor time or the money or the skills. So in that situation, the right to keep the possession is known as the particular lion. The second example, that suppose the tailor can keep the possession of the tailored clothes if the customer is not ready to pay the tailoring charges. In that situation, the tailor can keep the possession of that clothes only. Here, why? Because the clothes is stitches by the tailor. The tailor is not having any right to keep the possession of any other property. He is having the right to keep the possession of any that particular clothes. Are you able to understand? So here the right to keep the possession is limited with a particular property. That's why this type of lion is known as the particular lion. This type of lion is also known as the spatial lion, or it is also known as the mechanical lion. But in your syllabus, only the particular lion and spatial lion word is used. We are not using the word mechanical lion. But this type of lion is also known as the mechanical lion. If you are going to refer any reference book suggested in your syllabus, then you may also find that words is particular lion. For the particular lion, you may also find the word that is the mechanical lion. I hope the meaning of the particular lion is clear. In case of general lion, now the question arises, what do you mean by general lion? The general lion means the right of the creditor to keep the possession of any property till the entire amount of that is not paid. Here, the person, the creditor, is having the right to keep the possession of any property. But what is the condition? The condition is that the property must be registered with the name of the customers only. Here, the same example, suppose A has granted a loan of 50,000 to B as a friend, and now the B is not ready to pay the amount. So the A is having the right to keep the possession of any property which is registered with the name of B till the amount which is due is not paid by the B to A. So this type of right to get the possession of any property is known as the general lion. Please make the meaning very careful, very clear, because this topic is IMP from the examination point of view also. Whatever I just said is written on the PPT also, that particular lion is available only against the particular property in respect of which the bailey has expended the labor and skill. Here the bailey word is used for the creditor. If the person has expended the labor or the skill or the time, suppose time is related with the services rendered by the doctor, because if a doctor provides the medicine, that he exercises his time and skill, not the labor. So in that situation, the person is having the right, or person is enjoying the right of particular lion. Here the example is given: A repair B's car and B does not pay the repairing charges. Then B can retain the car. Here it is a typing mistake. A can retain the car until the payment is made. Why? Because A repairs the car of B. So A is having the right to retain the car until the debt is not paid by B. The second is the general lion. A general lion is the right of one person to retain any property or goods which are in possession belonging to the another person until the promise or the liability is discharged. Here which type of promise we are talking about? We are talking about promise to pay the loan amount with interest. Here the liability is to pay the loan amount with interest, not any other type of promise or liability. So who can enjoy the right of general lion? The general lion right is available for bankers, factors, wall thinkers, attorneys of high court, policy brokers, etc. Now be very careful here. If the banker is the creditor, so as I said that the person can take the possession of any property. But here the right of general lion is available to the banker only respect of goods and properties, or you can securities. Clear? As a general public, we handed over our money to the banker with lots of confidence and trust. So here, money paid into a bank or creditor deposit account of any type of account, you can say, does not fall within this category. So suppose I am having a saving account as a customer with the bank, and the balance of that account is suppose 5 lakh rupees, and I am also have taken a loan, and I am not ready or not able to pay the loan amounts with interest. So the banker is not having any right to exercise the right of general lion on my savings account. Why? Because the savings account or any type of deposit account does not fall under this category. These are the rules only and only about the goods and securities and the properties. I hope it is clear to you. So in short, if you remember this chart, so you are able to understand the full topic. First thing, lion is the right of creditor to retain the possession. Clear? Lion is the right of creditor to retain the possession. Now, which type of possession, which property the creditor can take over? So, in case of general lien, the creditor can take the possession of any property which is registered with the name of the debtor. But in case of particular lion, the property can be purchased by the creditor on which he has exercised his time, skills, money or labor. This is very simple to understood. Just read it twice whenever you will get got the time, and the topic is very easy to understood, and also the IMP from the examination point of view. Now our topic is the banker's lion. We have to study the banker's lion according to the syllabus. Now as we discussed that there are two types of lions. First one is the general lion and the second one is the particular lion or special lion, or you can say the mechanical lion. So the banker's lion is always a general lion. It is not a particular lion at any point of time. The banker's lion is always a general lion. But it is more than a general lion. How? As I said, that if creditor is a banker, if creditor is a banker, so the banker is having some more right, which the general person as a creditor is not having. So the banker's lion is a general lion, yes, but of course it is more than the general lion. Why? Because some extra right or some additional rights will be given to the banker as a creditor. So that's why we can say that the banker's right is a general lion, but it is more than a general lion. So how it is more than a general lion? So some special features are there of the banker's right or general lion. So which are they? Just let us discuss one by one. The first thing, it is an implied pledge. So the question arises, what do you mean by pledge? The pledge is a transfer of property as a security to the banker if he wants to take a loan. Suppose a person wants to take a loan of 5 lakh rupees. So in that situation, the person transfer the movable property. Here we are taking the example, suppose jewelries. Here, person wants to take the gold loan. You all are very familiar with the gold loan. Here, person wants to take a loan. In that, for the particular loan, the person has kept his jewelry as a security. In that situation, the possession of that jewelry is with the banker. And you are having the loan, but if suppose some point of time you are not able to pay the loan amount with interest. In that situation, the banker as a creditor is having the right to keep the possession of your jewelry till the loan is not repaid, and also the banker is having the right to sell your property to recover the loan amount, which the general creditor or the general person as a creditor is not having. So here the special right is what? That the banker's right of lion is more than the general lion, because it confer upon it the power that the person or the banker can sell the goods and securities in case of default by the customer. So if you will be the defaultee, then the banker is having the right to sell the property to recover the loan amount. But as a general creditor, as a general person, as a creditor, the person or the creditor cannot sell the property, but banker can sell your property to recover the loan amount. The next one is the right confirmed upon the banker by the statute. Now the question arises, what do you mean by statute? So it is a written law that is passed by any legal body. Again I am repeating, statute means a written law that is passed by any legal body. So now question arises that who says that banker is having the right to sell our property? Who says that the banker is having the right of general lion? Where is the rule? So yes, the rule is written. Where? The general lion is written under the section number 171 of the Indian Contract Act 1972. This rule says that general lion is the right of the banker and no additional agreement or the contract is necessary for this purpose. Here, if the banker wants to recover the loan amount out of the property or out of the sale proceeds of the property, so no any additional agreement or the contract required for this type of right the person or the banker is having. But nowadays, we all aware about that there is a practice amongst the Banker of India to obtain the letter of lion, which empowers them to hold the securities for the outstanding balance of any loan account. Example, you are having any cash credit account, you have taken a loan or the overdraft facilities. Why the bankers are doing? The rule says there is no need of additional agreement and contract. The banker is having the right, that is but obvious. But in India, the bankers are taking the letter of lion. Why? Because they want the security that on the letter stage there should not be any claim which is claim of the contrary, which will be registered by the customer. So to avoid these types of claims, they generally ask for a letter of lion. So what is the point about? The point about that the banker is having the right of general lion, and this right is confirmed by section number 171 of the Indian Contract Act 1972. The next, the security is received by the banker to be dealt within his business. Now the rule says that the general lion means the person or the creditor is having the right to take the possession of any property. But as I already said in the topic of general lion, This rule is related with the securities and goods only. The amount which we have handed over to the banker in a regular banking business, we have a savings account, we have our current account here. On that types of accounts, the banker is not having any right to exercise the right of general line. Why? Because that type of property, that type of bank balance is dealt within the banking business of the person. Yeah, or any securities which I handed over to the bank for any special purpose. Suppose I want to sell my shares and I handed over the documents of the shares to the bankers that according to my instruction you have to sell the shares and I am ready to pay the charges. So the banker is not having any right to sell the shares to recover the loan amount. Why? Because I handed over the documents of the shares for any particular purpose. So in that situation, the banker has to perform according to my instruction. The banker cannot exercise the right of general line. Why? Because these types of securities are not dealt with the regular banking business. Are dealt with, I have handed over. Why? Because I want to get some, you can say, special services of the bank. That's why I handed over my property to the bank. Suppose I handed over the property documents of my, you can say, my house, or I have a locker facility. In that locker facility, generally customers are using the locker facility. In that locker, the customer kept the valuables. What is the objective of the locker facility? The customer wants to safeguard the valuables. Suppose the jewelries or any documents or property documents are there in the locker. So the banker is not having any right to keep the possession of those properties which are in the locker. Why? Because the objective to keep the property there is a safe custody. So I handed over the possession of the property for the specific purpose, that is the security here. So in that situation, the banker is not having any right to exercise the right of general lion on that property. I hope it is clear. So the banker can exercise the right of general lion on the goods or on the securities which are with the banker for the regular banking business, not for any special purpose. If I have handed over any goods or the securities for any special purpose, so in that situation the banker cannot use that property to recover the loan amount. The next is securities owned by the customer. Again and again I am repeating that it is compulsory that security must be registered with the name of the customer. So for exercising the right of general lion by the banker, it is necessary that the security should be belonging to the borrowers and not any other parties or any third party. Suppose a house is registered with the joint name, and the banker has to collect the amount from a single customer. The banker cannot take the property papers of that house. Why? Because it is registered with the joint name. So it is compulsory that the property must be registered with the name of the customer only. There should not be ownership of any third party, or there should not be any joint ownership. If this is so the banker is not having the right of, or the banker cannot exercise the right of general lion on that type of property. And the last point is the statute of limitations. The meaning of statute I already says that statutes mean the any written law which is passed by the any legal body. Now the question arises, what do you mean by statute of limitations? So the Limitation Act 1963 says that period within which you as a creditor has to file the case in the court to recover your loan amount is known as the statute of limitations. After that, you as a creditor, you as a banker cannot file the case in a court to recover the loan amount. Suppose if a person has taken a loan with the bank and the person is not able or not ready to take the loan, to repay the loan amount, the person becomes insolvent. Then to recover the loan amount from that person, There is a certain time limitation. Within that limitations, the banker or the creditor has to file the case in the court. Otherwise, after completion of the time, the person or the creditor or the banker cannot file the case against the debtor in the court. So that limitation of the time is known as the statute of limitation. After that, if the time period is over, then that type of debt is known as the time-bearer debt. Again, I am repeating, if the time period to claim in the court is over, then that type of debt is known as the time-bearer debt. So, if the banker is having any property of the customer, so banker can keep the possession of that property to recover the time-bearer debt also. Of course, banker cannot file the case in the court, but banker can keep the possession for the time-bearer debt also. So, this is the statute of limitation, that the banker can exercise the right of general lion for that type of loan also, which is, you can say the claiming time period is over. So this is all about the extra features or the special facilities which is available to the creditor if the creditor is a banker. I hope it is clear to you all. Again, I am repeating here in a brief. First one, it is an implied pledge. Why it is an implied pledge? Because if your creditor is a banker, then to recover the loan amount with interest, the banker is also having the right to sell the property. But as a general creditor, if general person is a creditor, then that person is not having the right to sell the property. The person can take the possession of that property only. The person cannot sell the property. But if the banker is a creditor, then the banker is having the right to sell the property also. The second one is the right confirmed upon the banker by the statute. The question arises that who says that the banker is having this type of right? Is there any written evidence or law? So of course, the law or this type of right is confirmed by the law. The law is written under the section number 171 of Indian Contracts Act 1972. If anyone wants to check the law, the person can refer the Indian Contracts Act. And the rule says that no separate agreement is required or no additional contract is required for this types of right. The banker is already having this right for every type of loan. Clear? At the time of granting the loan, no additional requirement of these types of contract to clear this right. The banker is already having this right. The next one is the security which is received by the banker to be dealt within his business. It is compulsory that if the security received by the banker for any special purpose, like to sell in the market or to safeguard the valuables, so for that purpose, the banker has to fulfill the purpose of the customer. The banker cannot exercise the right of general lion on that property. It is compulsory that if the banker wants to enjoy or exercise the right of general lion, then the security must be received by the banker, which should be dealt with the banking business only. And in the last, so here for example FD. Here, FD, the document of FD, fixed deposit, you may find on you all are familiar with the FD. Whenever we want to open the FD account, so after opening the account, the banker will issue a FD receipt. You can check on the FD receipt. On the back side of the rules and regulation is written. Here you will find the right of general lion. One clause will be there. The clause says that banker is having the right of land on your FD account also. Clear? So in case of loan, if you are not ready to pay the loan amount, the banker can see or banker can take over your FD amount also. And the next security must be owned by the customer. The rule says that if the banker wants to exercise the right of general lion, it is compulsory that the security must be registered or must be owned by the customers only, not with the name of any another parties or any third parties, or not there should be not on joint liabilities also. If there is a joint ownership, but not liability ownership. If there is a joint ownership, then also the banker cannot exercise the right of general lion. And the last one is the statute of limitations. The statute of limitations says that you as a banker can file the case against any debtor within a particular period of time for the recovery of debt. After that particular period time, the creditor or the banker cannot file the case in the court against the debtor. But of course, the banker or the creditor can exercise the right of general lion on any property to recover the time-bound debt also. Clear? Means the banker is having the right to get the possession for any type of loan or for any type of debt. This is all about the special features of the banker's right to exercise the general lion. I hope it is clear to you all.